Hey yogis, let's step to the top of the mat in mountain pose. Just establishing Ujjayi breath here. The practice will start a little slowly, but it will build and build pretty quickly, and we'll get to a little bit of everything. Sweeping your arms up on an inhale, and exhaling to dive down, Uttanasana. Inhale to your flat back, and then exhale, step your right foot back. Inhale, stepping to plank, and exhale, lower all the way onto your belly this time, picking it up for cobra. Lift your heart, send it through your shoulders, and then exhale through child's pose and into downward facing dog. Sweeping your right leg up high. Exhale, step the foot between your hands, and then step left foot forward, heart forward, inhale. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up, offer your heart, let your palms touch, and then exhale, hands slide through your chest. Second side, sweeping everything up, inhale. Exhale, dive all the way down. Inhale to offer your heart forward, and exhale, step the left foot back. Inhale your right foot back, plank. Exhale, lower down. Chaturanga if you like. To up dog or cobra, heart through your arms. And exhale right to downward facing dog. A couple breaths here. Inhaling to sweep your left leg high. And exhale, place the foot between your hands. Inhale, heart forward, foot forward. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Let your palms touch. And slide your hands through Namaste. Let's release the arms and we'll take tree pose, balancing on the right foot. Left foot at your inner thigh, hands how you want them. Grounding from your heel to your core, lifting out through your heart and the crown of your head. We'll slide the left knee into the center, reaching our arms up now. Let's just hold here. Powerful hip flexor work. And take a slow step all the way back for high lunge. Committing to pointing your tail down and lifting your heart high as you want to take it. You can even move beyond vertical into a back bend. That's your choice. And then exhale, plant your hands. We'll take a little hop forward so we can straighten both legs. Send the chest forward on an inhale and then bow for Parsvottanasana. Intense side stretch. I like to wave down my leg, feeding my belly into my chest, lengthening my spine, getting deeper and deeper. And take a little step back so we can pivot toward wide angle. Bowing, Prasarita Padottanasana A with your hands shoulder width. Just keep working the hamstring stretch, tilting your sitting bones high. And then we'll stretch the chest forward, inhaling. Pivot over to the right foot. We'll sweep the right leg high up behind for three-legged dog. Traveling through a three-legged flow if you like, or any flow that speaks to you. All the way back for downward facing dog. And about 3 or 4 breaths in it. Eventually joining feet, coming high onto toes, bending knees and stepping or floating to the top. Stretch your chest forward, inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, root to rise, stand up tall, palms will touch, hands slide through your heart. And ready for the second side, separating feet. Take tree pose on your left foot now. Grounding down through your heel, make a strong leg. Energy both downward and upward through the body. Aim to stand taller and taller. Right knee moves toward your center. Sweep your arms up and hold it. Couple breaths. And then a slow step all the way back to high lunge. pointing the tail south, but lifting the heart high. Keep height through your chest as you bring it toward a back bend if you like. Still drinking your sweet breath. And then hands will frame your foot. Hop in a little bit, straighten both legs, square off your hips, and stretch your chest forward. Exhaling to bow here over the left leg. A few breaths. And then heart forward as we pivot over to wide legs again. Stretch your chest on an inhale. And then take your arms wide, interlacing them behind you, and exhaling for a fold and a rotator cuff opening. Take it where it wants to be. If you like to sway a little bit left and right, you might find you can dig into each shoulder better that way. Sweeping your chest halfway up. Exhale, drop fingers under your shoulders, and then pivot over toward the left leg, sweeping it high up behind you for three-legged dog, and a three-legged vinyasa if you like. Meeting at downward facing dog. Two or three nice breaths here. High up on the toes, we'll bend our knees and step or float to the top, landing lightly, heart forward, inhaling, and then exhaling to bow all the way down. Inhale, rise up tall, Vrksasana. Hands will slide through your heart. And then we'll find another balance here at the top, bending knees deeply, headed into eagle, balancing on the right foot. So the left leg crosses over, left arm crosses under. Suck the low part of your navel in towards your spine, keeping engaged at the core center there. Then we'll tip it forward for soaring eagle. And then unravel toward half moon. Right fingers touch down, left leg extends out. And here I'm thinking about growing my body longer, tucking the tail toward the left heel and drawing the navel back. If you like to hover for full moon, you might hover your bottom fingers. Maybe even keep a little static electricity between your right fingers and the floor, which I find harder than lifting your chest quite high. We'll set it back in a peaceful warrior, going for depth in this one. Really stretch back. How far down your left leg can you slide your left hand? From peaceful to triangle, straightening the right leg, reaching forward, then down wherever you land, the left arm stretching high. We'll peek up toward the left thumb for the drishti point. Here again, I'm lengthening through the spine. I'll roll my left hip backward and the tummy back. If you'd like to deepen, cross your left arm over your ear line and spin your chest toward the sky. Keep finding your full, satisfying ujjayi breaths. Then we'll fold over this right leg, sucking the right foot back enough to square off your hips. Stretch your left arm forward, ground your back heel, and make a rotated triangle shape. Left hand either in or outside for the full pose. Grab 2 or 3 breaths. And then we'll fold over the right leg, planting the hands at the top, sweeping the right leg up and back for three-legged dog. And here I'm going to take my chin down and do a little hop switch of my legs in preparation for Gandaberundasana, a pretty deep back bend. Inhale through cobra or up dog, and exhale your way back to downward facing dog. We'll take 2 or 3 breaths here. And then joining feet together, come high up onto toes, bend your knees, look forward, and step or float to the top. Landing, heart forward, inhale, and exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, arms will stretch high, right into eagle pose on the left foot, crossing the right leg over and the right arm under. We'll make this an effort of Uddiyana Bandha, your belly lock. And then we'll tip it forward. So much squeezing and wrapping into your midline, but the breath full and easy. Unraveling for half moon, the left fingers touch down, the right leg extends. Lift your gaze up toward the right thumb if you have stability, and then find more length through your spine. You can keep a finger down, and maybe some static electricity between your finger and the floor here. And then set it down in Peaceful Warrior, stretching up and back, and again going for depth and fullness of breaths. Straightening out the left leg, we'll bring it into Trikonasana, keeping space as you reach forward and then down with the left arm, right arm stretching high up. We'll expand in every direction possible. To go deeper, cross your right arm over your ear line. Swivel your chest toward the sky by plugging your right shoulder blade onto your back. Then we'll fold over the left leg, sucking it back just enough to square off hips. Stretch the right arm forward for rotated triangle prep, planting right hand outside the left foot if you can, otherwise inside or on a block is perfect too. How broad can your chest be in this pose? And we'll fold over, preparing for a vinyasa. You can take any you like, but I'm going to try Gandaberundasana now. Dip the chin down, chaturanga arms. You could hop switch, lift your legs up, or maybe even bend your knees quite deeply, finding a back bend. It takes a lot of trust on your chin and neck. Just clear it out in your way, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. We'll sweep the right leg up, and then walk the hands back toward this left foot for standing split practice. Aim to keep your top leg really straight, fiery. And then we'll walk the hands forward again, three-legged dog. Exhaling, roll your knee in toward your right deltoid. Inhale to sweep your leg up. Exhale, right knee toward left tricep. Inhale, sweep it back up. Again toward the left tricep, but this time we're going to drop the foot down for fallen triangle. The left arm sweeps up high. Send the hips high, the heart high, the head back, and just enjoy the space you can make. And we'll fold our hands down, trying this. Keep the left hand planted and take weight off of the right fingers. It's really pretty intense. And then fold both hands down. Suck your right knee in towards your chest, and then sweep the leg up and back. Exhale, roll this knee in, plant your foot, set your back knee down, and sweep the arms up for crescent lunge or Asana. And fold our hands down. And then left hand will stay, the left knee bends, so we can grab hold of this foot with the right hand. You have the flexibility, set your elbow down, but don't push that. It's plenty to work on up on the left palm. Of course, if your knee bothers you, your back knee, you can roll the mat over or take cushion underneath. Figure out how you can open your whole quadricep set here. And then we'll release, planting the hands, sweeping the right leg up and back. I'm going to do a little hop, switch, chaturanga, Vinyasa. You can take any Vinyasa you choose, and we'll meet in downward facing dog. For a few breaths. And then we'll sweep the left leg high. Again, walking the hands toward the back foot to find standing split. A really active top leg. The toes making an effort to swivel in towards your midline. And then we'll walk the hands to the top of the mat. On your next exhale, rolling the knee towards your left tricep. Inhale, sweep your leg back out. And then exhale, roll your knee toward your right tricep. Inhale, sweep it up and back. Again, toward the right tricep. This time we'll release the foot down. Roll the right arm up for fallen triangle. Just a glorious opening, as big as you can find. And then we'll roll the hands down, keep the right hand planted, and if you're able, take a little weight off of your left hand, maybe even reaching it up toward the sky. And then both hands will come down, hug the left knee in towards your chest, and then sweep it up and back. Then we'll step this foot between the hands, set the back knee down, and sweep our arms up again for Asana. This big heart opening, huge breaths in. Then we'll plant the right hand down along the left foot, bending the back knee and reaching for the foot with your left hand. You can help your heel towards your glute, roll the left shoulder open, and then only if it feels possible, plant your right elbow down on the ground. And then we'll release, plant both hands, ready now to sweep the left leg high up behind us and take a vinyasa of your choosing. I'm going to hop toward handstand. You might take a few hops or find your handstand. And then slowly lower, travel through vinyasa and meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, walk your hands towards your feet and stretch your chest forward, taking yogi toe lock and folding forward. You can keep this as passive or active as the practice calls for, possibly lifting your shoulders up and away from your ears, freeing up some space in your neck here. We'll start to walk your hands toward the top, and then we'll set the right elbow down, followed by the left elbow, dropping the head for Dolphin Pose. If you're able, walk your feet in a little bit more, and then be pressing the floor down and away through your elbows. Maybe you decide to take a hop, a kick, or even a tilt up toward forearm stand. We won't be in it for too long. If you'd like, maybe pause and take it to a wall. And then lower, straighten both hands, and clear it all out with a vinyasa. We'll take just a couple breaths in downward facing dog, and then we'll start all over again by setting the left elbow down, either preparing for dolphin or possibly forearm stand practice, your choice. Make sure to kick up with the other leg if you kicked up before. And then lower, coming right down onto your knees in preparation for Vrksasana, Camel Pose, with knees hips width apart. We'll start with hands in the chest, stretching the chest up really high so that we maintain some length in our spine right before we fold. I like to physically lift my ribs up and then tilt back, taking hold of the ankles or heels and breathing fully as I lift my heart toward the sky. And come all the way out on an inhale, last thing up's your head. Exhale, find cat pose to counter it. And then inhale, cow. Exhale, another cat, really round and empty. And then inhale for cow. Then press your palms forward and see if you can lift your knees without rolling your toes to start. For a front of the ankle, front of the foot stretch. Then roll over toes and set your heels down. We'll walk the hands toward the back of the mat. I'm going to do a little press exercise. Stretch the chest forward, firm, straight arms. I'm going to pour weight into my hands as I come to my tippy toes until I can no longer bear any more weight. And then my feet just kind of hop forward. I'm going to keep doing it, walking this way. Press walks. Pour weight into your hands until your feet have no choice but to come forward. And then we'll bend our knees and sweep arms high for Utkatasana. Come up onto your toes and then set your hips down on your heels. And actually we'll roll all the way backward, preparing for shoulder stand through plow. Hands to your back, wiggle your elbows toward each other, and we'll be here for just 20 seconds. So you can work on any legs you're working on, or just enjoy the new perspective. As we come out of this, we're going to rock all the way forward, trying to plant the right foot and stretch the left foot forward to hover. I'll show you what we mean. Come down through plow, roll all the way out. Plant your right foot, left leg hovers on the ground, just above the ground, hands at your heart. And then roll back. We'll try it on the other side. From plow all the way forward, plant your left foot, right leg extends, lift your heart for the stability. And then we'll do it one more each side. Roll back to plow, come back onto your right foot. Lift your chest, sits bones don't touch. And then back to plow. Last one, plant your left foot now, right leg extends. Lift your heart. And then we'll roll back through plow and come right into Utkatasana, fierce pose. From chair to Vrksasana practice, we'll crouch low, split the knees. And then set up for some crow play. And actually, I'm going to take a crow, a few breaths, and tip it into headstand. So now might be a nice chance to invert in any way you like. Setting my head down, rolling into tripod, lifting my legs. I'll be here for a couple of breaths, and then I'm just going to lower in a pike as slowly as I can until I can pick my face up and end up in Chaturanga, clearing it all out. And landing in downward facing dog. In down dog, stretching the right leg high, opening the hip and bending the knee. Let the opening happen little by little. You can stay here, or if it feels natural to you, flip it all the way over for Karasana, the ecstatic opening of the enraptured heart. Wild thing. From wild thing, let's roll it over and then slowly, slowly place the right foot at the top of the mat. How long can you let it hover? Place your foot, set your back knee down, and we'll lift the chest up, but keep your hands draped alongside your body. And if you can't touch the floor, it's no big deal. Your hands can dangle, or you can take blocks or books here. Keep breathing. Find your sweetness. And then we'll fold over this right leg, flexing the foot. And you can either take half Hanuman there or full Hanuman practice, full split pose. I'm going to fold over this right leg, but you can do anything that feels natural, feels like it'll open you up. I like to rock side to side to get both the medial and lateral hamstrings. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to practice bending this left knee, pulling the heel in close. You can keep your half Hanuman for a little while, or work on anything that's calling to you. I'll release the back leg, plant my hands, and slide this right leg up and back behind me. I want a little handstand hop or two. Just get my arms ready, squeeze them toward each other, peek a little bit forward as I step or hop up. You can take a few hops, maybe a hold. And then Vinyasa, any way you like. From downward dog, we'll sweep the left leg high, stacking this hip and bending the knee. Keep your right heel heavy, and then again, just allow the opening to happen little by little. At some point, you might decide to flip it all the way over, find your wild thing. And then ever so slowly, place this left foot at the top of the mat. Maybe play with how much control you can maintain as you step the foot all the way forward. Set your back knee down, and then lift your heart, but keep your arms alongside your body. If you can touch the floor, great. If not, just let your fingers hover. Huge breaths. And then we'll fold over a straight left leg, flexing the foot here, and you could keep it right there in half Hanuman if this is intense. Or slide it all the way out for full Hanuman Asana practice. Monkey King Pose. Do whatever comes naturally for a handful of breaths here. Folding forward, rocking side to side. If there's space in your body, you can try bending this back knee, but don't fret if that's not the case. We'll keep at it. I'm going to pick up the back leg and work the heel in close to my glutes, something like a Vrksasana practice. I'm trying to find some space in the quads and the hip flexors there. And then we'll release, plant the hands alongside the leg, sweep the left leg up and back behind you. And then again, if you like, a few handstand hops. And then Vinyasa, clearing out. Big exhale as you come to downward facing dog. And we'll sweep the right leg high, place this foot between our hands, set the back knee down and prepare for a twist to the right, hooking the left elbow outside, hands into your heart. And we'll take several breaths so that we can work the opening. Like, if you like, you can do arm variations, opening your arms wide, or even getting the bind here. If you don't have the bind, it's no big deal. We'll keep feeding the left ribs to the right, broadening through the chest and drawing the shoulders back. Now I'm going to look forward and tuck the back toes under, hopping forward and setting up for a balance on the left foot. So if you're bound, it's kind of natural. If you're not bound, it doesn't matter. You can take your left hand anywhere outside your right knee. You could even keep your right knee bent. If you're able, straighten it out. We'll stand as tall as we can. A little falling and wobbling is part of the play, part of the practice. And then we'll slowly set it down. Step the left foot back and set yourself up for lizard. You want to play with lizard by setting the back knee down and letting my right knee slide wide. And then I'm going to do this funky thing. I'm going to roll onto my back, and as I do that, I'm going to try to keep this right leg with me. So now I'm laying on my back, cradling effectively my right foot or the whole right leg. It's like I'm doing pigeon pose upside down or on my back. Now you could keep this here, hugging your forehead towards your foot, or if you want to take it further, you could practice foot behind the head pose. You get plenty out of it just by hugging and cradling your right leg, believe me. If you are able to get your foot behind your head, one nice thing to do is to try to lie back, flex your right foot, and maybe take your hands into your chest. I have a long way to go. And then I'll hug the right knee in. I've got a little core work coming. I'm going to start to hover this left knee and then switch. Right knee in and left knee in. Keep switching. Exhales tilt you up. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Exhale. Last one. And then roll back. I'm going to rock and roll all the way to a little handstand pop-up, a little cannonball hop. See if you can catch hold. Maybe do it a few times. And then clear it all out. Vinyasa flow. Then from downward facing dog, drag your hands towards your feet. You can hang in Uttanasana or any fold that works for you. I'll wrap my arms around my legs and let the length happen. And we'll walk our hands to the top, the new top, downward facing dog. Stretching the left leg high and taking this series on the second side, placing the foot between your hands, set your knee down and take your twist to the left, hooking your elbow and working your hands into your heart. You can stretch your crown away from your hips and work any arm variations that you have. You might tuck your back toes, gaze forward as you step to the top, balancing now on the right foot somehow, some way. If you're bound, you pick up your leg. If you're not bound, take your right hand to the outer edge of your left leg, anywhere. You can keep your knee bent if that feels better. If you're able to straighten it out, straighten it out. Keep lifting your chest and broadening through it. How tall can you stand? And then we'll set the left foot down. Stepping the right foot back, we'll unravel to lizard pose. Plant your hands inside the left foot, maybe setting the elbows down, along with your right knee. If it feels good, come to the outer edge of your left foot. And let the opening happen. And then again, I'm going to start to roll all the way over, trying to bring this left leg with me. And I can hold the foot or cradle the leg, lifting my head and chest, just like I'm doing pigeon pose on my back. And this might be enough of a hip opening. If so, keep it right there. If you want to take it a little farther, start to work your left leg behind your head or the foot behind your head. This kind of thing, it just takes time. Time, little heat, patience. Don't push it too far, otherwise injury will hold you back. If your hips don't like it, there's no need to do it. And then we'll release, hugging the left knee in, hover the right foot. And then I'm going to do these little crunch switches again. Switch and exhale, switch and exhale, switch, 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 and switch, switch, and switch, and then hug both knees in, roll back to plow, and then all the way forward for a cannonball hop or two if you like. And eventually taking it all the way through Vinyasa. Luxuriating in breath. And then ending up in puppy pose. The knees are down, hips are high, and the heart is pressing toward the earth. You can keep your arms no wider than shoulder width apart. Allow your chest to melt progressively. A couple more breaths here, and then I'm going to slide forward onto my belly, playing with cobra just a little bit, lifting my heart high. I'm keeping the elbows soft, the shoulders soft, and just figuring out how much space I can create. And then I'll dip my chest down, bend the knees, and find Danurasana, grabbing hold of ankles or maybe even shins as you pick everything up. Exert on your inhales and soften on your exhales. And then I'll rest, rocking the hips from side to side. A few breaths here. Then I'll roll all the way over. I'm going to hug my knees in and just kind of shimmy my hips left and right, left and right. I'm kind of like I'm using a steering wheel in a silly movie. And this is for the SI joint. And the last thing we'll do is set up for bridge or wheel pose to finish the practice. I'm going to start in a bridge, rolling the shoulder blades together. Then if you're craving more depth, plant your hands next to your ears, roll up onto the top of your head so you can resituate your hands, and then pick everything up, making as much space as you possibly can. And I'll spend a little while here because I'll set my elbows down. You can work on any back bend that you have. You can always come out and come back in. From here, I'm going to hop all the way over to a forearm plank. If you're in a position to join me, join me. If not, don't sweat it. If you're ready to finish your back bend, you can hug your knees into your chest, maybe rock around in circles, massaging your lower back. Maybe take happy baby, and anything that feels right as you're finishing the practice, even a soft twist from side to side. I'm ready to roll over and take goddess pose briefly before I find Shavasana. Soles of the feet together, knees wide. I'll make cactus arms, allowing gravity to take over, releasing any holding patterns, allowing my muscles to be heavy. And little by little, I'll slide my limbs out. Finding symmetry, comfort, warmth, whatever you need to finish the practice. And this will just be a single minute in Shavasana. And of course, I actually always recommend a longer Shavasana. If you like to take 5, even 10 minutes, you can end this here. Or hang out with me 1 minute and chasing no thought. Begin to breathe more deeply, making little movements. Wake up in a way that feels natural. Maybe roll over to your right, make a pillow with your right arm, just for a last moment there of gratitude. And then we'll roll all the way up to sit, Taking hands into the heart. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for watching, commenting. We'll see you soon.